All right. So this is basically, I think I'm live. I hope I am. So basically, we're about to watch this video right here because I okay, so God of War is my favorite game. I um I I only played the last one. I only played the last one because where's my headphones? I only played the last one. To be honest, I was kind of too young for the ones before that. Plus, I kind of got on a PlayStation during PS4, so like I never really got to play the other ones. I know the story of it to a certain extent, but yeah. So let's just watch this, see what it's about. If it's boring, I'm clicking off. Let's see.
Playing God of War was one of the best decisions I have ever made. Recently, I was able to pick up a PS5. I had a PS4 before, but I never used it much since I usually play on the Xbox. Since getting this console, though, I've been attempting to do my due diligence and play some of Sony's incredible exclusives, some of which we will definitely be talking about in the future. One of these, of course, was God of War, and it's been an incredible experience. God of War has been making waves in the industry since its first entry in 2005, and with the release of God of War Ragnarok in a couple weeks, I thought I would go through the entire series up until this point, and not only give you a retelling of the game's events, but also critique it along the way. We'll be answering questions like whether or not this specific scene conveyed the emotions it had intended, whether or not the pacing of the story was acceptable, and of course at its most basic level, was it any good? As always, like the video if you enjoy, and if you like this style of content, then stick around in the next few weeks for a video on Ragnarok. But without further ado, let's get started. God of War wastes no time getting right into the plot, as we're introduced to our protagonist known as Kratos. We see Kratos falling to his death, as the narrator explains that the nightmares and visions he's been having are now finally going to disappear. But of course, continuing further would spoil the rest of the story, so we're actually going to flashback and show how things got to this point.
This
We
is
actually
all
start on
right.
a ship being wrecked by a Hydra. During this time, words like Olympus and Hades are being heard, and anyone with a bit of knowledge on the subject will know that this takes place within Greek mythology. This is why I was so drawn to God of War in the first place. The beauty of myths is that they're more often than not so detailed and complex that anyone can create a story based on the core concepts. And God of War is just another drop in the bucket that is filled with media that uses Greek mythology as the backdrop. But that's where God of War differs, as it plans to simultaneously build and destroy its entire world over the course of the series.
Okay, hold on. Because all right, my friends usually tell me I should try out games even if the graphics are bad. I was thinking about going through and doing a replay of like the old games, not before the next God of War, because obviously I wouldn't have time. But I don't know if it's just me, but it's something about it's something about games with like really old graphics. I don't really enjoy them. Like, I feel like it's probably because I'm just spoiled at this point, but it's like I need some good graphics. Like, I'll give an example. My favorite game is Ghost of Tsushima. So, so it's kind of like there's really no reason for me to watch um or go back and play the older games unless I'm truly, truly, truly missing out on something. Like I went back and played the old Street Fighters and I played Street Fighter 1, 2, 3. I played 2 Turbo, you know what I mean? So like I kind of went back and played those, but like going back and playing God of War probably would be I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. Like I'd rather watch a video like this and bring me up to speed and just play the most recent ones. But yeah, that's just me.
It also succeeds in subverting expectations. There are many types of media that are centered around Greek mythology and use the gods as this grand spectacle. God of War
That's something too. I love Greek mythology. Like I was just oh my God, I was just talking to my brother today about a bunch of like the philosophers from Greece. It's I obviously the philosophers were real, but um like just the whole Greek mythology of like the different gods and stuff. I also like Norse mythology. I just like those like old like stories, like the stories that were told then or that we believe are stories now. Like I like those and fairy tales. Like those are probably my favorite two sorts of media. Kind of stems from like um superhero stuff and everything, but yeah, that's probably my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I Here we go. Let's do a little bit of a shorter one. This was 26 minutes. I know, but I have a bad attention span. So let's watch the 26-minute
The
one.
God of War franchise has a sprawling timeline that interweaves.
Wait. Contains spoilers into Ragnarok or God of War? Yeah, no, I don't even want to risk it. Spoilers would literally ruin my night. I'm not gonna lie. That would literally ruin my night. Alright, let's watch this review.
About time. You think you can come here, become a daddy, get a clean slate? That ain't how it works. You're
Is that Thor? That'd be crazy if that's Thor.
a destroyer like me.
I really think that's gotta be Thor. Wait, what am I talking about? He got a whole hammer, and there's no other person that could be. That literally has to be Thor. Hold on, let me fix my filter real quick. Because I think the screen is flashing. 1 second, I'm sorry. Hold on. Alright. Let me see. Let me see. Like, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Sorry guys, I hate this, but I gotta figure it out. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, let's go.
How do you follow up on one of the greatest video games of all time? Sony Santa
Okay.
Monica finds itself in a situation not dissimilar
What is the only flag for my pause? It's whatever. Let's go.
to when Francis Ford Coppola created the sequel to his mob movie masterpiece, The Godfather. Like part 2 of the Corleone story, God of War Ragnarok puts a fierce, younger member of the family directly under the microscope. In doing so, it manages to reach the heights of its predecessor, and in some ways, even tower above it. The writing, performances, and music are each exceptional, bringing this expansive Norse tapestry to life. But even as it holds your heart in one hand with its elegantly told story, it's crunching bones in the other with fantastically ferocious combat. It all binds together to forge a monumental action epic that adds yet another impressive landmark to the video game landscape.
You've already taught me discipline. I need more than that. I need answers. Answers you don't have.
Answers all.
Okay. This kid is probably gonna be annoying in this story. I'm thinking about it, and I know that a lot of the story of God of War. My problem is Kratos has been through a lot. Like, even though there's comics, I haven't read them, but I've seen a lot of information from them. And the fact that the kid is gonna come around and like, he's like a teenager now. Like, he's literally gonna be, I don't know, he's literally gonna be trying to be his own guy and like act like Kratos don't know what he's talking about. That's gonna be kind of annoying. But it'll also have her like a good story. So I don't know.
Well, your mother had.
Keeping things broad and spoiler-free, Kratos' story picks up a few years after the final revelations of 2018's God of War. The apocalyptic Ragnarok is coming, and its events circle around his son Atreus like one of Odin's ravens. Ragnarok
Atreus.
wastes no time in stepping
I don't know why I kept wanting to call him Atrocitus. That's why I just said the boy instead of saying his name. But it's Atreus. We got it. Atreus.
into the action. And after a breakneck opening battle, the first step of this new journey is to leave the frozen realm of Midgard behind and find a missing Norse god in the broader and varied universe. It may not be as tightly a told story as 2018's, but Ragnarok has much grander designs. This is a sprawling epic that always keeps things on the move without ever becoming
Wait, did he say?
disorienting.
Hold on.
Tightly a told story as 2018's, but Ragnarok has much the frozen realm of Midgard behind and find a missing Norse god in the broader and varied universe. It may not be as tightly a told story as 2018's, but Ragnarok has much grander designs. This is a sprawling epic that always keeps things on the move without ever becoming disorientating, gluing me to the edge of my seat as it repeatedly toyed with expectations. It's an ambition regularly met by stunning execution, with a momentum that never slips as you hurtle towards its bombastic ending. This journey took me just over 28 hours with a fair few side quests completed along the way, but with plenty still left to do afterwards. Prophecy and sacrifice swirl at the story's centre, as it repeatedly prods at the concept of destiny and whether blood runs thicker than the ink that pens it. It doesn't merely offer up surface level readings of these themes. Instead, each character and their motives are given the respect they deserve by delving in deep. It's a truly special and fittingly grand conclusion of Kratos' Norse saga. Despite being laden with myth and melodrama, there's still plenty of time for welcome pockets of self-aware silliness that almost always elicit a laugh. Whether that be another bizarre dwarven contraption or the simple thrill of Kratos eating a sausage. When not eating dinner, Kratos' thunderous voice actor Christopher Judge frequently engages in smartly realised dialogue with his equally impressive castmates. Make no mistake though, this is firmly Judge's court, and one
of the things I think about too is the graphics on here. Like, they're still fire. Like, these graphics are still really good. But the graphics when, like, you put them on the PlayStation and don't get a 4K TV. Oh my god. The graphics on this John are going to be crisp. Like crisp. You'll be able to see the bumps in these bullet skins. Like that. I feel like the graphics are gonna be like that. I don't think they're gonna be on Ghost of Tsushima's timing, but graphics on it, because God of War 2018's John was like crazy good. Like, main thing that drove me towards it was I just needed a game to play. I was bored at the time, but I got so hooked to the story. It was like it made me start learning about Norse mythology and everything. Like, so that's why I paused it before. Like, when he said it's not as tight of a story as 2018, I at first was disappointed, but at the same time, I don't know how you could top 2018's story. Like, the way they portrayed it was like a little masterpiece. I'm not trying to be on that timing, but it was literally almost a masterpiece. So, but yeah, I want to see what the story's gonna be like on this one.
he frequently dominates. Kratos' traumatic personal history is reflected in everything from his mournful tone of voice to his appearance.
Atreus! Listen to me.
His Icarus wings are long
know
since
it.
clipped, but his complexion is
He's
still
definitely
pale,
gonna
like
be
a square of wall
annoying,
where a family
Atreus.
portrait used to hang. The everlasting cycle of violence between parents and their children has long been a theme ever since the original God of War trilogy, although one that was only truly emphasised in 2018's revival. Now it's an inescapable fixture of Ragnarok, an exploration of the rawest and most human of emotions, and what happens when they are channeled through superhuman vessels. Pain leads to anger, anger leads to hate when they are channeled through superhuman vessels. Pain leads to
wonder if
anger,
Thor and
anger leads
Kratos
to
become
hate.
friends.
This is the genesis of the stalking threat embodied by the incomparable force that is a grieving mother. Portrayed incredibly with a newfound fury by Danielle Bisutti, Freya is a striking presence to be reckoned with in the sequel. No longer just a help.
Freya has to be. Oh my god. okay, on one side, she's just a mother. On another side, she has to be the most controlling. Never mind. I could never mind, cause that'll start me in a whole rant of Freya is just annoying. Like protecting your son is one thing, but she's very annoying to me.
Witch in the woods, she's given a whole new spectrum of emotional depth to play in, and Ragnarok is all the better for it. Each character is given their own moments to shine throughout. Sunny Suljic fires back regularly with the sharp teenage tongue of a brasher, more confident Atreus, and Alistair Duncan's severed head accessory Mimir continues to provide levity and exposition in
They were showing that in the last one too. Like you could see Atreus getting very much more confident in himself. You could see the progression of him turning into kind of a brash kid.
abundance.
Ah, back to smashing through things for fun and profit. Lovely.
Various newcomers to the vastly expanded cast also deliver fantastic performances, with a particular standout being Leia Hayes, radiating infectious energy from the mysterious Angerboda. The foul-mouthed Brock and skittish Sindri provide pockets of humour, as well as a lot of genuinely helpful info along the way as they play a much more central role in the story this time
I'd
around.
be disappointed
also
if they
returning
weren't
is
in again.
composer Bear McCreary, whose score, like the Dwarven Smith brothers, goes hammer and tongs from the first moment to the last. There's some truly beautiful music to be heard along the journey, as well as explosions of raw orchestral power during intense fight scenes. Layered writing, impeccable acting, and stunning set design are all crucial aspects in
Did you say acting? You making it out like this John gonna be a literal movie. Like you making me excited. You got me excited. This boy talking about literal acting. I'm excited to see this now.
Layered writing, impeccable acting, and stunning set design are all crucial
Set
aspects in
design.
driving God of War's filmic aspirations home, but they're also never let down by the rock-solid technical craftsmanship at work. The one continuous camera shot style of 2018's reboot
Sorry. Parents. Let's go.
turns, impressively snaking through the entirety of Ragnarok as if mimicking the world serpent Jormungandr himself.
My goodness, what a strapping physique. Capable of an astounding variety of acts of violence, I imagine.
What?
God of War's combat has always been the flashy attraction that draws a crowd in to be wowed by its story, however, and Ragnarok continues that tradition. Kratos' blades whip around in every direction,
Those
delivering a
blades
clanking
are
fiery
fire.
pain to any face they meet.
Literally.
Heavy cleaves of his axe
Okay. I apologize for that joke. So, it those blades are fire, but they're literally okay. They're literally fire, like the blades Kratos has. Okay, the blades he has are like literally fire. That axe is really cool too. Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
crunch into enemies, making them fold like bloodied origami. And yes, that axe still slices through the air, meteorly lodging itself into anything unfortunate enough to be in its path, before being recalled to your palm with what remains one of the most satisfying button presses ever assigned to a controller. It's all unapologetically fast and undeniably glorious, harking back to the brand of frantic action in which the series was originally rooted. But even with that slight shift to old school action, Ragnarok's eyes are still drawn more to the shimmer of Nathan Drake's gold rather than Bayonetta's platinum. Cinematic spectacle takes precedence over the chaotic, bordering on cartoonish action of old. The axe feels largely similar to how you remember, and that's no bad thing with its dynamic mix of heavy attacks and ranged power. But how you wield the blades is noticeably different.
Do not expect me to play this game on hard. I did it with the first God of War. That was the first time I almost raged on a game. That was the first time I've ever changed the difficulty of the game after I started it. I put it on the hardest setting. I do not know why I did that. I was not ready for it. Like, my friend plays Horizon, right? He says that's hard. I played some Horizon. I played it on the hardest difficulty too, and I've never played a game. Why is my dog barking? I've never played a game as hard as God of War. Just never done it. So when I play it, it might go on the easiest. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, it might go on the easiest difficulty.
There's a greater emphasis on using them to hook enemies and maneuver them around the arena, whether that be dragging them in towards you or juggling them in the air like the hottest of potatoes. They're much closer to how they felt in the original games, a nostalgic moveset with a brilliant modern edge. Both weapons have new tricks to show off too. You can Frost Awaken the axe by holding in the triangle button to power up your
See how cool his moves are?
next attack, or mash the same button while the blades are equipped to ignite them. Even the shield is now more of an offensive tool, and different types can be bought and crafted to fit your playstyle. Runic abilities,
that's fire,
special
hold on.
cool different types can be bought and crafted to fit your playstyle. Runic abilities, special cooldown attacks assigned in your inventory, also return. And while there isn't the same abundance of choice this time around, each is devastatingly effective. Brutal finishes on stunned enemies are another enjoyable throwback to the God of War of old. There's noticeably a good amount of variety in the randomly chosen weapon-specific animations too. Movement is further emphasised by the way you can now grapple up from a distance using the blades and launch across gaps to dive into combat. Taller area design literally adds extra layers to battles, allowing you to leap from a ledge to deliver death from above. Combat sequences can feel akin to Doom kill boxes, as you dash and swing around elevated platforms towards your next victim in performances of acrobatic bloodshed, juggling cooldowns, Atreus' arrows, and your rage meter to efficiently and spectacularly destroy everyone sent to stop you. Each fight feels like a real occasion, as you slalom your way through ranged, parryable and unblockable attacks in order to sneak in a hit or two. Enemies can now...
Those bosses are gonna be fine. I remember I fought Thor's kids. Man, I was smacking them jits.
perform powerful but interruptible attacks signified by a blue ring above their head in addition to their regular skills. A double tap of the shield will sort these out, but get your timing wrong and you're in line for some considerable pain. There are plenty of other big additions to combat that I won't divulge so as not to ruin the sensation of discovering them yourself, but rest assured Ragnarok has myriad more tools in its bag than God of War 2018 ever did, and is all the more enthralling for it. It all feels exceptional when in full flow, often mesmerising with its top tier action drenched in rhythmic brutality, and is quite simply the best combat I can remember playing in a game. And that just goes for the regular fights. Boss battles are of both a higher quantity and quality, including one encounter that makes the opening Stranger fight from 2018 look like a playground scuffle. It's not just the story bosses either. I fought massive alligator bastards called Dreki on more than one occasion, which were a real event to fight and more of a challenge challenge than 2018's Trolls ever posed. It's great to see sprinklings of that old school monster mayhem thrown into the mix, which manages to successfully offset some of the more serious stretches of the story. Smart new puzzle ideas are consistently introduced, and building complexity throughout as more abilities are added to your arsenal. They're often fun and never in danger of slowing your progress to the detriment of the plot. But even so, Atreus or Mimir can't help but come in with a hint far too early and sometimes rob you of that satisfying aha moment. It's a very rare annoyance in a world where normally every last word is a joy to listen to. Armor customization has been streamlined, resulting in the removal of the slotting system for a more straightforward upgrading mechanic. Enchantments are now placed inside a separate amulet rather than spread over various pieces of gear. This division makes seeing what you have equipped easier and means you aren't lost delving into too many menus within menus. This also means you can upgrade a piece of armor and take it with you through your journey if your playstyle happens to perfectly click with a certain set, or you just love how it looks. The same goes for weaponry, which can be
That throws me off in games though. Like, I like the customization, but it starts getting so overwhelming. I don't want to be that guy, but it's like, then I'd be liking one thing more than the other, and it's like, but this thing is stronger than the other. It's like, it kind of sucks sometimes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it sucks. That's all.
upgraded, as well as fitted with attachments such as individually named hilts and handles, each with their own perks and bonuses. Who wouldn't want to play with the Stonecutter's knob, after all? Realms old and new are regularly a sight to behold, many looking torn from the pages of fairy tales, stocked with oversized flora and fauna. There's an extra effort to delve deeper into the mythology this time around, and as someone who's a fan of the Nordic source material, it's a real pleasure to see all of the different interpretations of creatures, people and places they inhabit brought to life in all manner of delightfully weird ways. For example, the dwarven city of Nidavellir is a welcome rural change of scenery, with its many homes and tunnels that Kratos must amusingly crawl around in. It's at the centre of the rocky realm of Svartalfheim, where waterways weave through islets littered with bubbling geysers. There's a real sense that this realm was ripped right out of the Old Norse poetic Edda's home of Iceland. Those geysers are also key to solving many of the puzzles in the region, as you freeze them to create stepping stones and manipulate machinery. Quirks like this help in making each place feel unique. Similarly, fun ideas are introduced in the returning Alfheim, such as reflective crystals that you can ricochet your axe off of to open doors, or even use to blindside unwitting opponents in combat. It's a further example of not only each realm looking distinct, but also feeling distinct to play in from one another. Every location almost feels like a puzzle box that you're gradually unlocking through a combination of brain and brawn as you make your way through it. These worlds bring with them dangerous new threats. If there are any faults to be found in 2018's revival, then modest enemy variety may well have been one of them. However, there is no such issue in Ragnarok, with its bestiary vastly expanded to accommodate all sizes and shapes of creatures. Familiar foes such as Draugr and elves have made their way across, but this time they're joined by creatures like Grimms, which, you guessed it, are pretty grim, scuttling toad people. Then there's a personal favourite, the Einherjar, Aesir warriors who harness the power of the Bifrost that makes a section of your health bar glow before removing that chunk on the next hit. There's an engaging but never unfair difficulty curve throughout as you're met with progressively greater threats.
Well, at least it's attacking someone besides us.
Side missions are sometimes spectacles in their own right. They're a great source of character development as you learn more about your friends and companions by helping them right past wrongs. Some side quests do just present a pure gameplay challenge over extra stories, however, such as hunting down powerful legendary enemies dotted across the realms of Yggdrasil's roots. There is no shortage of genuinely tough side boss encounters either. Chipping away at larger health bars is a really satisfying challenge, and remarkably well balanced against the standard quick kill nature of the majority of Ragnarok's fights. It's yet another testament to the masterful combat design on display, and yes, there are some absolutely tough as nails endgame level challenges to rival the Valkyries of 2018, but I'm gonna let you find out what those are for yourself. There's a substantial slew of collectibles to clean up as well, with Odin's ravens, puzzle chests, artifacts, and much more to find in every corner. There's a ton to be done after the main story has been brought to a close, all of it incredibly moorish and fun to complete. Ragnarok never once rests on its laurels, throwing new ways to play at you until the very end. Despite having a seemingly endless amount to praise here, I really have barely scratched the surface of what God of War Ragnarok has to offer. I'm deliberately omitting dozens of secrets and surprises. I wouldn't dare spoil what's to come for anyone booting it up for the first time, but rest assured there are both huge story moments and fresh gameplay additions that live up to and often surpass expectations. Taken all together, much like The Godfather Part 2, God of War Ragnarok delivers not only a chapter that reaches the lofty heights of its predecessor, but leaves it impossible to imagine the series without it. An enthralling spectacle to behold, and an even more exciting one to take the reins of, God of War Ragnarok melds action and adventure together to create a new, unforgettable Norse saga. Impeccable writing, pitch-perfect performances, knockout action, it's a complete work of art from top to bottom. Reflecting its core themes, it's everything a sequel should be, respectful of its legendary lineage, but not afraid to take it to exciting new places. God of War Ragnarok is an almighty achievement, and creates a new high that makes many of its peers look positively mortal by comparison.
Let's just talk about how crazy a 10 is from IGN. Like, that's actually insane. IGN is like, they're not really reliable with their ratings, but like giving a 10 is really good.
For my full written review, check out the article on IGN.com.
Written
and for
review?
everything else God of War Ragnarok, stick.
He must think we not illiterate. That's crazy. Alright. Let's see what I have on my recommended to react to. What? Who is this fine channel? This looks like a channel I would like and subscribe to, you know? I'd probably everything God of War related we want. Let's see what this is.
5 reasons why you should be excited for God of War Ragnarok. Number
Give 'em
1,
to me.
New Realms. It is confirmed by Santa Monica that all 9 realms will be playable in the upcoming.
Slow down. Because I feel like he's not the type to not spoil. So, yeah, slow down. I wish I was on my other account. I would have so many more. This is only 5 hours ago. A skeptical review. Avoid comment spoiler risk. Okay, so I don't think there's spoilers in the actual thing, but we still not gonna watch it. Alright. Oh, let's see this. This would be fire to watch.
Your anger, you can get lost in it. The path ahead is difficult. And you, Atreus, are clearly not ready.
What was that?
Quiet.
Why do you look so scared?
Come on out! There's no use hiding anymore. I know who you are.
What's going on? Do you know him?
More importantly, I know what you are.
Boy, beneath the floor. Now!
But you told me never to go down there. Who is that?
I do not know.
What's he talking about?
I do not know. Get in.
Just tell me what I want to know. No need for this to get bloody.
Boulder, I'm telling you, is annoying.
you'd be bigger. But you're definitely the one. Long way from home, aren't you?
What do you want?
Oh, you already know the answer to that.
Whatever it is you seek, I do not have it. You should move on.
And here I thought your kind was supposed to be so enlightened, so much better than us, so much smarter. And yet you hide out here in the woods like a coward.
You do not want this fight.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I do.
He says us like he's not invincible.
Home.
You are going to have to kill me for that to happen.
I warned you.
Finally.
You would not listen.
Why is he moaning like that?
How incredibly disappointing. Come on, then. Tell me what I want. Pain stops real simple. Why are there two beds in here?
Leave my
Struck a nerve, did I? Who are you hiding? Slow and old. You should never have come to Midgard. So, care to try again?
You talk too much.
This fight is insane, bro.
You won't talk? Fine. Maybe whoever it is you've got stashed in that house will. Who is it?
see that swing. I ain't gonna lie, this fight goes on for a long time. It's like more fun when you're really playing it, I ain't gonna lie. Let me see, what time is it? Dang, I was really hoping to go an hour. I gotta cut it here though. I got work later in a minute. Actually, I gotta get ready for it. Alright guys, well if hope whoever sees this enjoys. We're gonna be back tomorrow too. Like I'm just about to power through and stream like every day this week, especially when God of War comes out. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and until next time, crickets.